To stream. Shalom. We are the I.S.U.P.K. We are the I.S.U.P.K. Started at 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the command of General YAHANNA. And we are affiliated and associated with no Hebrew Israelite group. And we teach that the blacks, Hispanics, and native Indians are the true Hebrew Israelites of the Bible, God's chosen people. First, I'm going to say that Salakia for the late start. We was here early tonight. It was just another technical with the electronics in here. We couldn't get nothing powered up, nothing working. The internet wasn't even working. So we struggled with the electronics. But Salakia to the audience. Shalom to the audience, Lord and Christ. And we're going to go straight into the session, the live session. We're going to go straight into the live class, Salakia. We have classes 4 days a week in the school that are streamed live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Monday night is the history class with Captain Parashia. Tuesday night is the brotherhood class with me, Officer Oriala. Wednesday is the law class with Officer Dungabar. And Thursday is the scripture breakdown class with Officer Karatia. The classes run live from 7 till 9 o'clock, 4 days a week. On a Friday, we have the Lashawan Kodash class live from, I do believe, Manchester. That's Officer Rabban. Every Saturday we keep a Holy Sabbath in the school. And then at 12 o'clock, we keep street camp in Birmingham City Centre one week. And the following week, we go to London, central London, Piccadilly. If anybody's interested in coming down to the school, blacks, Hispanics, and native Indians alone, this is exclusively for Hebrew Israelites. It's not for any other nations, as we're going to dip and delve and find out tonight in tonight's class, tonight's brotherhood class. Yeah, which is called, by the way, is entitled, The Heathen Will Never Be Our Brothers and Sisters. The heathen will never be our brothers and sisters. Radar, get me Deuteronomy 7:1 and just hold it. Now, we have the live classes 4 days a week. The Lashawan Kodash class Friday, Saturday Sabbath service in the school, and street camp every Saturday, Birmingham and London alternatively. No other nation apart from blacks, Hispanics, and native Indians are allowed in the school. It's forbidden. This is exclusively for Hebrew Israelites only, God's chosen people, as we're going to find out tonight in tonight's lesson. So once again, shalom to all the Akyam and Akwathian out there for tuning in. The water, for your support. We love you, Israel, and we won't stop loving you and bringing out this truth. I.S.U.P.K. under the command of General YAHANNA. So tonight's topic, the heathen will never be our brothers and sisters. And let's look for a minute at what that really means. Because we're walking around like we hate our one. Why we're walking around hating on one another and evil eyeing on one another? We're so quick to defend these heathen nations, our people. We're so quick to jump in front of the fire line for them and act like they're our best friends or they're our brothers, when they simply are not. For decades and centuries and millenniums, they have studied us, watched us, and copied us and mimicked us, and stole our ideologies and stolen everything that we have and claimed it as their own. So they are not our brothers, they are not our sisters, and they never will be, according to the Bible, according to the oracles of the Most High God. There was a so-called black icon in the 60s called Dr. Martin Luther King, who lived his whole life and was guilty of this as a Christian pastor and he was a Christian reverend. He used to push a doctrine where everybody would be together and happy. He had a dream, a so-called dream, that little so-called black boys and little so-called white girls would skip to school holding hands together and would all live happily ever after 400 years of oppression, after 400 years of tyranny, after 400 years of brainwashing, after 400 years of getting our backs whipped, our ankles cut off, our feet chopped off, and our necks snapped as he hung us on trees. Yeah, these heathen, these Edomites, the so-called white man. And he came out with pushing his belief that he had a dream that little so-called black boys and little white girls would skip to school hand in hand, happily ever after what they did to us. And according to the Bible, nothing doesn't go like that. It's false and fake, and it's just another example of our black leaders in our communities leading our flock astray, leading our people astray. It's nonsense. It's not of the Most High God, and it's not of the Bible. To find true brotherhood and sisterhood, we know what we have to do, Israel. We have to come together as a nation. We have to support our one another. We have to love and honor and cherish our one another, you know? And we do that by keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments and the teachings of Christ, our Lord and Savior, that pushed brotherhood and sisterhood heavily in his day, heavily. So we're going to have a look at the heathen will never be our brothers and sisters. And we're going to delve into why we love them so much. And in most cases, 8, 9 times out of 10, we actually love these other nations, these heathen nations, more than we love each other, more than we love ourselves. Yeah. So get that for me, Radar. Get the first precept. Deuteronomy 7:1, I do believe I asked for. When you're ready, Radar, read that.
Book of Deuteronomy 7:1. When the Lord thy God bring thee into the land.
So here the Most High God is bringing the 12 tribes of Israel into a land. Which land we're going to find out, because we've just done 400 years in one of these heathen nations captivity. The Hamites, the Egyptians, the Mizraimites. That's what this precept is about. The 7th chapter in the book of Deuteronomy. Read on.
Whether thou goest to possess it.
So we're going into a land to possess it. Read.
And have cast out many nations before thee.
And done what?
Cast out many nations before thee.
Cast out these heathens. Read.
The Hittites.
If these heathens were our brothers, why would they need casting out of a nation, of a land that we're going into? Does everybody in the class see that? If these heathens were designed, were made to be our brothers and sisters, why are they not supposed to be living amongst us and with us under blessings? We're going into a land. We're not cursed yet. We're not a cursed nation. We haven't come to that point in time where we're facing the curses of the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. So why are we going into a land where we've got to get this other particular nation out? There's many tribes of this other nation. Read on, Radak.
And the Gershite.
And the who?
Gershites.
And the Girgashites. Read.
And the
Amorites. Read.
And the Canaanites.
And the Canaanites. So Canaanite is the son of Ham. And the Girgashites and the Amorites are the grandfather of Ham. They're the sons of Canaan. Read. These are separate tribes, but from the same nation. Just like we've got separate tribes in Israel, Judah, Benjamin, Gad, Zebulun, Reuben. Separate tribes, but from the same nation. These are separate Hamite tribes from an African nation called Canaan, who came from Ham. Read.
And the Perizzites.
Perizzites.
And the Hivites.
And the Hivites, two more. Read up a little bit louder for me, Radar. Two more tribes from the Hamite nations. Read.
And the
Jebusites.
Yeah.
Read go. Read it again. Read up. Speak up, Radar.
Just the names again from the top.
I want to after Hivites. Read from there.
And the Jebusites. 7 nations greater and mightier than thou.
So there's 7 nations in this land that the Most High is telling us to go in and possess. There's 7 Salakia, not 7 nations. There's 7 tribes from one nation. Does everybody get that? So there's 7 tribes, and we must oust these tribes. We must get them out according to the Most High God. And these Hamites are Africans. If Africans were our brothers, why the hell would we need to get them out of this land? Read.
Verse 2. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them.
So the Most High God is not only telling us to get them out, he's telling us he's going to deliver them to us on a plate, on a silver platter. He's going to deliver them. If we do what he says, he's going to deliver them for us. Read.
And utterly destroy them.
And do what?
Utterly destroy them.
Does this sound like we was intended to be the Hamites' brothers? Does this sound like we was intended to be the Jebusites, the Hivites, the Perizzites, their brothers? We're supposed to utterly destroy them. So why the hell are we holding hands with these heathens? Why the hell are we in church banging a tambourine with them, hugging them, squeezing them, calling them our brothers, our sisters? What the hell is going on, Israel? Why are we doing this? The Most High God says, utterly destroy them. He doesn't give a ooh about these African nations. And the so-called white man had the goddamn cheek to abolish slavery and teach us that we were these people. That's what the so-called white man did. Another tambourine banging heathen that we're supposed to love like our brothers, and we can't even love ourselves, Israel. We don't even seem to have and possess that brotherly love and that sisterly love amongst ourselves, amongst our one another's. We don't know how to cherish our one another. What the hell is wrong with us? But we will love these Africans, and we will love these so-called white folk. And we'll stand up in church with them, banging a tambourine, hugging and kissing them like they're our brothers and sisters. But we hate our one another. Do you see how disturbing that is when you hear it, and you hear it in the black and white? It's just madness. And it's in the Bible. We're told what to do, and we just can't do it. We just can't do it. We'd rather love these heathen and call them our brothers. Let me tell you straight now, Israel, to your face. No African is my brother. No so-called white man is my brother. Never has been, never will be. Period. Point blank and period. I have my brothers. I've got 11 brothers. And I've got brothers from my own tribe. I've got my brothers from my own tribe, and I've got 11 other brothers that make up a nation of people. And 11 sisters. And sisters from my own tribe, my own backyard, my own shed, my own house. They're my brothers. They're my sisters. Outside of that, I don't have no brothers or sisters. Outside of that, I am not related to none of these heathen. They've got nothing to do with us, Israel. And full time now we wake up. Read that again, Radha.
Verse from the top, or verse 2?
No, carry on. From verse 2, yeah.
Carry on from verse 2.
Carry on.
And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them.
And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them, read.
Thou shalt smite them.
Shall deliver them, read.
Deliver them before thee.
Before thee. Just throw them down in front of us. Read on.
Thou shalt smite them.
Thou. Read.
Thou shalt smite them.
Thou shalt smite them. Smite. We will lick them down. Yeah. You see what happened to Afghanistan from 1992 and Saddam Hussein's regime in Iraq. They got smited by the so-called white man. They were smitten down. This is what we're being told to do to these African tribes. That is exactly the same thing that we're supposed to do to these Hamite tribes from this Hamite nation that we was taught we was. We're supposed to smite them. Read.
And utterly destroy them.
And do what?
Utterly destroy them.
Read on.
Thou shalt make no covenant with them.
Thou shalt do what?
Make no covenant with
We
them.
will make no contract with these heathens. We won't shake hands with them. We won't agree terms and conditions. You've got to get out. Leave. This land doesn't belong to you. It's been given to us. It's possessed by the Most High God, and it's been given to us. You've got to leave. You've got to get out. You can't stay here, or you face death and destruction. That's it, period. There's no arguing. There's no debating. There's no contract. There's no covenant. There's no agreement. There's no contractual agreement. There's no verbal agreement. You've got to leave, period. Read.
Nor show mercy unto them.
Nor show mercy unto them. Remember earlier in the verse, it said utterly destroy. We're not supposed to show these heathen any mercy. They are not our brothers. They are not our sisters. We've got our brothers and sisters. We've got 11 brothers and sisters. These heathen are not our brothers and they're not our sisters. Read on.
Verse 3. Neither shall thou make marriages with them.
Neither shall what?
Make marriages with them.
So we can't marry these heathen neither. We can't make no agreements with them. The most we can do with them is trade. Let's go to market and trade. I'll give you 2 goats, you give me 4 sheep. Apart from that, I'm not shaking hands with you filthy animals, and I'm not doing nothing else with you. I'm making no agreements with you people, because you hate us. And we've been warned you hate us. And you hate, worse than hating us, you hate our God, the one true God of the Bible, the King James Version. You hate him. And if you hate him, you're an enemy to us. You are our enemy. Read on.
Their daughter thou shalt not give unto his son.
Say that again.
Their daughter thou shalt not give unto his son.
Okay, so not only will we not make marriages with them, we can't give our daughters to their sons. So their men can't. If you allow your daughter to marry a heathen, the offspring of that marriage are heathen. Does everybody grab Numbers 1 and 18 for me? Is everyone clear on that? If you allow your daughters, if your men, we're going to find out not even our men can marry their daughters. Yeah, because their daughters lead our children, Israelites, astray all over the place. Yeah, but imagine our daughters are given to their sons. The offspring are heathen. They're not even Israelites. Let's find out. Numbers 1 and 18. Read that. Hold that in Deuteronomy.
Yeah, Numbers 1 and 18. And they assembled all the congregation together.
So we've come out of the Egyptian captivity for over 400 years, and we're all over the place. Zebulon's mixed in with Gad, Dan's mixed in with Asher, Reuben's mixed in with Judah, Benjamin's mixed in with Simeon, Levi's mixed in with Joseph. All the tribes, no one knows which tribe they comes from. We need order in Israel. We need order. Moses gets that order from the Most High God. Read.
On the first day of the 2nd month, and they declared their pedigrees.
Their pedigrees, their bloodlines, their lineage. Read.
After their families.
After their families.
By the house of their fathers.
By the house of their fathers. by the house of their fathers. So for you to give your daughter away to a heathen nation, the father of your children determines their pedigree. Read that again. Salakia, 1 second. Shalom, Hadassah, Benjamin. Shalom, Yahobashim Yoshabrakatah. Shalom, sister Bathara Awana. Shalom, Yahoshimai Ladaba Hashim Yahoshai. Read.
And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers.
By the house of their fathers. Jump back to Deuteronomy. Shalom, Barak Yahala. I.S.U.P.K. Shalom, Yahobashim Yahoshai Brakatah. Yeah, so the bloodline, the lineage comes from the father according to Numbers 1:18. So if our daughters marry their sons, that bloodline of Israel stops right there. Does everybody understand this? Is there any questions in class? Does everybody get that? Does everybody get that precept? That's a precept. Yeah, that's a law. That is a law. That's a command of the Most High God. We can't give our daughters away to their sons. Read on. Read on.
Nor his daughter shall thou take unto thy sons.
Read that again.
Nor his daughter shall thou take unto thy sons.
So neither the heathen's sons, the heathen's daughters, Salakia, can be taken by our sons, because even though the offspring will still be Israel, while the man's out putting bread on the table and making a living and earning, what do you think that heathen mother's doing with the children? Radar, what do you think that heathen mother's doing with the children?
She's teaching them Christianity. And
she's teaching them Christianity, teaching them how to bang a tambourine and hold hands, like Martin Luther King said, with little white girls and little black boys holding hands together, skipping to school. Not happening. In this case, the Hamites. Yeah. And by the way, Martin Luther King, I don't know what kind of spirit came over him in his last weeks of life, but he changed his whole philosophy. You do know that. Martin Luther King, he knew in his last days that he'd been teaching unrighteous nonsense his entire life. And he forgot this amalgamation belief that the nation should all be together. Black and white people should be intermingling, intermarrying. He changed his entire views on that. And that was a spirit, but it wasn't a spirit enough to save his life. He'd done too much evil work. Okay, read that again, Radar.
Verse 2.
No, drop and read it from where you are.
Thy sons, W.
Read it.
Nor his daughter shall thou take unto thy sons.
Nor shall your daughters you take unto his sons. We don't want our Israelite babies, our Israelite children, our Israelite virgins, young men. We don't want them taught your Christian nonsense. We don't want them taught your Islamic devilness. We don't want them to hear about your Rastafarianism, schism, crap. We don't want them to hear it. We don't want them to hear it. We want them to learn the law, statutes, and commandments, and that is it. That is their duty. That is your duty as an Israelite, and it's our duty to teach our youngers this, the truth out of the Bible. Is there any more on that, Radar?
Come.
Read.
Verse 4. For they will turn away thy sons from following me.
There you go. They'll turn our sons away from following him, the Most High God. Read.
That they may serve other gods.
That they may do what?
Serve other gods.
Thor, Odin, Zeus, Achilles, Ares. What a bag of nonsense. Nothing to do with the Bible and our records. nothing to do with the truth. Read.
So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you.
So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you. You're just going to build up his wrath and suffer the consequences. Read.
And destroy thee suddenly.
And destroy thee suddenly. Okay, you're on 9, yeah?
No, we're just about to go on to 5.
What?
That was the end of verse 4.
Yeah, what's in 5? Yeah, go on, read 5.
But thou shalt deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars.
So we'll break down their altars, destroy them, read.
And break down their images.
And break down their false, fake images, their graven images, read.
And cut down their great groves.
There you go. Does this sound like our brothers? Does this sound like this is our sisters? Drop that and give me Genesis 9 and 18. Let's have a look at let's have a further look at these Hamites. What the Most High God is talking about. We're gonna have a look at a few of these heathen nations, and we're gonna prove out of the Bible they're not our brothers and they're not our sisters like we've been taught in Christianity, like we've been taught in Islam. Islam's the same bag of nonsense Christianity is. They stand up, the Imam stands up in the mosque teaching and pushing that anybody can believe in the God of Mecca. Anybody. What the hell? Read that for me, Radar.
Genesis 9 and 18. And the sons of Noah that went forth of the ark.
And so here we got there's only 8 people left in the world. Noah, his wife, his 3 sons and their 3 wives, 8 people. Here are the sons of Noah after the floods. Read.
Where
Shem, the bloodline of the Israelites, that's me and you. These are our brothers, the bloodline of Shem. Not all of them, as we're going to find out. Read.
And Ham.
And
Japheth,
who?
And Ham.
And Ham. Hold on a minute. Ham is another one of Noah's sons. So he was Shem's brother, but not ours. He wasn't Jacob. Jacob came a lot later. The progenitor of the 12 tribes of Israel is Jacob. Okay, and he had 12 sons and 1 daughter, Dinah. You know, so the 12 tribes of Israel are our brothers. You and your 11 brothers. That's who our brothers and sisters are, not Ham. Ham's a different bloodline, a different nation completely, nothing to do with us. Read on.
And Japheth.
And Japheth, drop that. Go down to verse 22.
In the same chapter, yeah?
Yeah, can't.
Genesis 9 and 22. And Ham, the father of Canaan,
Say that again.
And Ham, the father of Canaan.
Canaan, we've just read about him in our land to get him out. Don't sound like brotherhood to me. If Canaan was our brother, the son of Ham, we wouldn't be trying to get him or oust him out of our land. Read on.
And saw the nakedness of his father.
Okay, so drop that. Get me Genesis 17 and 20. We're just illustrating that Ham is not our brother. He's nothing to do with us. In fact, let's get
Genesis 17 and 20.
What you got? Genesis 17 and 22. Okay, we're gonna get. Shall we ease up Ham for 5 minutes? Let's ease Ham up. We've gone in on Ham. What about these Arabs? Yeah, how many of us are lost to the Islamic mosque? How many of our brothers and sisters are in Islam? Yeah, we just touched on it. Is Islam, the Imam in the mosque teaches that everyone can be a Muslim. Anyone can be a Muslim, but these people dare to stand in the streets, pray in the streets openly, where they have their reward. They don't need God or a savior. They've got their reward with each other. Lacking humbleness, patting each other on the back, hugging each other after prayer, worshipping each other, congratulating each other on how well they've done in prayer. No one's listening to your prayers. Your prayers are false and fake and they're blocked. Yeah. It's just a bag of nonsense, and they're teaching that everybody can be a part of their union. Everybody can be a part of their God. And that's not in the Bible. It's just not a part of the oracles of the Most High God. And we're up in their mosques calling them our brothers and their women our sisters. And it's just not true. It's just not true. Okay, read that. Let's learn about Ishmael, because Ishmael was promised a mighty nation. I'm not going to lie to you. He was promised a mighty nation, but he had no contract with the Most High God. Ishmael had no covenant with the God of Israel. That pertained to the Israelites alone. Okay, so yes, he was given a mighty nation, and look at the Ishmaelites today. They've got all the oil, all the wealth, all the riches. They've got everything they want, all the luxuries in the world, everything that we don't have. But this was promised to them. This was promised to them, the Ishmaelites. But at no time were they promised the prophecies or the priesthoods or the word. That was given to us alone. A holy people, a righteous people, a separate people from these heathen nations. And we want to walk around calling them our brothers, calling them our sisters. Do me a favor. Do me a favor, Israel. Stop it. They are not our brothers and they are not our sisters. Let's see what the Bible says about Ishmael. Read.
Genesis 17, verse 20. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and I will make him fruitful.
Read that again from the top.
And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him.
He has done what?
I have blessed him.
So Ishmael was blessed. The Arabs was blessed by our God. He was a son of Isaac, who was a Hebrew. Abraham, sorry. He was Isaac's brother. Read that again from the top, brother.
And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee.
And as for Ishmael, he has heard thee. Read.
Behold, I have blessed him.
So the Most High God, the God of Israel, has blessed Ishmael, Isaac's brother, Abraham's firstborn son, with it was with Sarah. Yeah. Read on.
I have blessed him, and I will make him fruitful, and I will multiply him exceedingly.
He'll do what?
Multiply him exceedingly.
Multiply him exceedingly. Read.
12 princes shall he beget.
12 princes he will have. Read.
And I will make him a great nation.
And he'll make him a great nation. So he was promised a blessing that he'll be given a great nation. But what? Why was he not given any contract with the Most High God? Read.
Verse 21.
Because that contract was reserved for Jacob, the son of Isaac, not the children of Ishmael, the Arabs, and their fake prophet Muhammad, false fake prophet, who's not doesn't get a mention. There's a precept in Deuteronomy 18 and 18 that the Imam loves to go to and says, oh, look, this is a prophecy about Muhammad. It's a prophecy about our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. It's got nothing to do with Muhammad. And we can go into it and break it down if we need to. Let's move on. Read.
Verse 21. But my covenant will be established with Isaac.
Read that again.
But my covenant will be established with Isaac.
So Ishmael will be promised a mighty nation. Yeah, but the Lord's covenant will be established with Isaac. This is Ishmael's younger brother. There is no contract or covenant for the Ishmaelites. The Arabs are not our brothers. Their women are not our sisters. So why the hell are we up in the mosque buying drugs off of them, talking about they're our brothers and sisters? Because that's all you'll find in the mosque. False, fake teachings of God and drug dealers.
Right.
That's what you'll find in the mosque. Is there any more on that, Radar? 21. All right, so drop that, and Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee this set time in the next year. Drop that and get me Genesis 25. Okay, we've gone on to, I tell you what, let's watch the first video. Let's find out if Ishmael really is our brother.
See, yeah. After you finish playing,
okay, so I go on it first, don't I? How do I share?
Not this one. We have to find the one with the list. I have to click on the one with the list.
Hey?
The one with the list.
You better come and show me.
Go across. Click on one of them red tabs. See the one, you'll get the list. The first one. Yeah,
what, there?
One. Yeah, click on that.
Hold on, let me go back.
That one, not that screen.
Hold on. Let me go back in the stream first. So you come and do it, because I don't want to press anything and mess it up. Shall I go on?
Click up that one where it says I ain't black, the first one, the first red tab next to the screen. Click on that one.
What, this?
Yeah, click on that. Click on that one.
No, that's the wrong video.
No, just click on it. See if the list comes up. The list.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Shall I share it first? So let's share it and see if this does it. Share, yeah.
Now after you play this one,
trust the sister Anaya to get us out of a tight spot. The water, sister.
So you play which one you want to play. Then after you finish it,
okay.
At the top, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see if Ishmael is our brother, shall we? Let's have a look at the first video.
You press share.
I pressed what?
You share the blue thing at the bottom. Come down here.
Okay, but how do I get it on the screen?
Click share,
and it'll come up, yeah? Full screen. Okay, play. Here's the first video of the night. We've only got 3 short videos.
Arab woman that wants to try to inform a lot of us black people.
Okay, so we're in the. What's that? Get rid of that noise. So you got it. So we're taught that we believe that Ishmael is our brother and our sister, not according to the Bible, Israel. And we're going to watch the first video. Let's watch what Ishmael thinks about Israel. Let's see what Ishmael thinks about black people, black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. Because when we say black people, we're represented by black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. They're the 12 tribes of Israel. There are no Arabs that fall into that category of the 12 tribes of Israel. That's exclusive to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
About why some of her people.
Speaker on Radar.
I am, but it's someone put it on radio, and I'm trying to get it on Bluetooth. It says, yeah, this one up, yeah.
So turn it up, turn the volume up a little bit.
People don't like black people. Let's go ahead and roll that.
Okay, so
why do Arab?
So here we've got an Arab woman trying to explain why Arabs don't like black people, and we're supposed to call these our brothers and sisters. Watch this, Israel.
Well, let's go ahead and roll that.
Why do Arabs hate black people? I was asked that question. Arabs don't hate black people. Newsflash. Okay, our prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his imam was a black guy named Bilal. So they have nothing.
She says Muhammad's imam. How the hell? Muhammad was the first Muslim. How the hell did he have an imam? Someone before him. There's your first strike. This Arab demon is going to be out. She's going to have 3 strikes. She's going to be out. How can she say that there was a black imam? suggesting that there was an Israelite brother in Islam before Muhammad. So Muhammad had an imam that was black. Did you hear what she said? Let me pull it back a little bit. That's what she said. Muhammad's imam, his priest in the mosque in Islam, was a black man, was a Hebrew Israelite. That's a damn lie, and that's her first strike. Let's watch it.
His imam was a black guy named Bilal. So they have nothing against the black race. It's
Salakia Israel, when you read the scholarship books, and there's a book from Babylon to Timbuktu, and it says in there, I've not got a copy on me, but I'm quoting, it says in there that Muhammad got all his ideology, his ideas from chilling with black people in the hills of Medina. He was amongst our people, and he sat down as a 9 to 12-year-old and listened to our teachings and listened to our priests and prophets and studied us and went back and gave the world the Quran, the unholy Quran. Okay, I'm not going to disturb the video again. Let's let it run.
Black people. I was asked that question. Arabs don't hate black people. Newsflash. Okay, our prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his imam was a black guy named Bilal. So they have nothing against the black race. It's just majority of
Salakia Israel. So she's calling the black priest or prophet that Muhammad was sitting and learning from an imam. It's a damn lie.
Of Arabs or Muslims that dislike black people have either been wronged by them or like some way wronged, or have heard stories of multiple people being wronged or like taken advantage of or murdered or something by that race. So they hold a grudge against that race particularly, but not all Arabs hate black people. It's against our religion to like.
Okay, so not all Arabs hate black people. So she's openly admitting some Arabs hate black people. Let me tell you, 99.9% of Arabs hate black people. And that's being kind to them. Me personally, I'm saying 100% of Arabs hate black people. This is Ishmael. This is Ishmael we're talking about. This is Isaac's brother, not Jacob's brother, not the 12 tribes brother. Okay, let's watch it.
Discriminate against skin color, especially since there are a lot of black Muslims and we don't judge about them. So it's majority of whenever Arabic people are like cautious about black people, it's either because something happened or they just heard a story. For example, 9/11, how do most people compare Arabs or associate Arabs? That's a perfect example.
You know, there's many stories that's been covered over the years.
Cut that. You see that, Israel? What a load of...
Ending. See where it says the Asian, where the arrow is closing.
Where?
Yeah, see that? Oh, yeah. See where up there now, ending now. If you don't.
What, there?
Yeah, we're done with that one. We're done with it.
Yeah, we're done with it.
Yeah,
so back on the stream, back on the stream. Okay, so you heard that garbage, yeah? And we're supposed to call these Arabs our brothers, our sisters. Is everybody took note on what this Ishmaelite demon just said? Why Arabs don't like, or some Arabs don't like black people, don't like Hebrew Israelites, do not like blacks, Hispanics, and native Indians, because we allegedly did something to them, but she can't tell me what we did. I presume she's referring to the chain snatchers and the handbag snatchers in the hoods.
They always got some excuse to hate.
Thank you, Dawada. They've always got some excuse to hate us, like all the heathen have. So we've been trained we've been almost patterned to love Africans, to love Arabs, to call them our brothers, our sisters in this dirty, filthy world, in this kingdom of Babylon. We've been taught to treat these people like our brothers and sisters when they hate us.
If I may.
Go on, Radon.
Like in all these religions, innit? Islam, Christianity, you can, all of them are your brothers, innit? The white man's your brother in Christianity. You go to Islam, the Arabs your brother, and everything. Then they're all just mixed up, and they all say with all brothers. Even religion you join, you just, whoever's joined these religions, they're your brothers.
And what do you think that brings about? All this mixture of religions and races all in one pot. What do you think it brings about, according to the Bible, according to the oracles of the Most High God? What do you think it brings about, and what purpose it serves?
You want to take that? You want that question?
Does anybody know?
It takes us away from the Most High, innit? It takes us away from our
God.
does.
It does take us away from our God. But what else does it bring about amongst our people, our nation? Think of stability, unstableness. Think, what does it bring about? What does it? I'll tell you, confusion. That's the only purpose it serves in our nation, amongst our people, the 12 tribes. It brings about confusion. That's all it does. Shall we give the Arabs a break? Let's start on Esau, my favorite. The devil the Bible talks of. The guy that chastised us, put us in chains and shackles, put us on a boat and took us across the windy Atlantic Ocean to Jamaica, America, Barbados, Trinidad, Grenada, Brazil, Colombia, Cuba, Puerto Rico, Costa Rica, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Vincent, Antigua, Barbuda. Did I say Barbados? Yeah, took us to the four corners of the earth, and then damn near wiped us out. And if it wasn't for that spirit that we carried, it might have happened to us. Some of the atrocities in the transatlantic slave trade. Get me Genesis 25 and 34, Radar. Because we're 25 and 34. We're going to have a look at the one that teaches more than anybody that we're his brother and we're his sister. Yet he hates us. He hates us more than any other nation. Well, I don't know. The Chinese man, Moab hates us quite a bit as well, don't it? You know what I mean? But it's so evident with the white man. We, in the streets of America, we get gunned down every day by white police. In the UK, we get similar treatment by the white police. Stop, search, stop, check, falsely arrested, falsely imprisoned, falsely scrutinized. You know, all these things. And this is from the so-called white man, Esau, the seed of Esau. And we're going to have a look at this because Esau, believe it or not, we're supposed to call him our brother. But the Most High God hated Esau, couldn't stand him. So then why must we be up in the church banging a tambourine and hugging and kissing this goddamn devil? When are we going to wake up, Israel? When are we going to wake up? Read that, Radar.
What is it, 25 and what?
25 and 34.
34. Can't have the one card. Genesis 25 and 34. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage.
What did he do?
Gave him bread and pottage of lentils.
And he gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils. What's bread and pottage? This is meat. Meat it's a red soup meat with lentils. Read this 34. We're going to jump up a little bit. Read on.
And he did eat and drink and rose up.
So Esau, this so-called brother of ours, this alleged brother, alleged by him, not by us, not by the Bible, not by the Most High God. He's not alleged a brother of ours by the Most High God or his oracles. Him himself alleges that he's our brother while he hates us behind our back. Read it again from the top, Radar.
And Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage and lentils.
Read on.
And he did eat and drink.
And he did eat and drink. Read.
And rose up and went away.
Why did he rise up? Because he was near death's door. Esau came home out of the field after weeks of being out there hunting. He hadn't eaten. He was dehydrated. Read.
And went away.
Went his way.
Went his way. Salakia. Thou Esau despised. Thus Esau despised his birthright.
Esau hated his birthright. How did that happen? Well, Esau was the eldest son. He was the first of the twin. He was our twin brother at birth, but a separate nation. When you go up and read Genesis 25 and 25, you can see, when you go back to verse 22, 23, 21, 22, 23, you'll see that Rebekah's carrying, Jacob's wife, Rebekah is carrying separate nations in her womb. Twin, Salakia, Isaac's wife. Shall we read it?
Yeah, let's read it. What is it?
25 and 25.
25 and 25.
No, we're going to go. And the Lord said unto her, two nations. Go from 23. Just read 23.
Genesis chapter 25, verse 23. And the Lord said unto her, two nations are in thy womb.
So here, Isaac's wife, Rebekah, is having, she's barren. She can't get pregnant. She's having stomach pains and she's having belly aches. Yeah, so she prays to the Lord. She asks him what's going on. The Lord tells her, read that again from the top.
And the Lord said unto her, two nations are in thy womb.
How many?
Two nations are in thy womb.
No, one single brother.
Two nations are in thy womb.
Two nations are in thy womb. Read.
And two manner of people shall be separated.
What's a manner? It's a mannerism. I might sit at a table and nibble at my food whilst the person facing me just guzzles theirs down. Two different manners. Two people with different types of mannerisms. Read that again. So you know Esau and Jacob from this precept, from this verse, they've got different mannerisms. They've got two separate mannerisms, different ways about them. Read.
Two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
Read.
And the one shall be stronger than the other people.
Okay, we've made the point. Two separate people, two separate mannerisms. Drop down a bit. Drop down to verse 27.
Genesis chapter 25, verse 27.
Read.
And the boys grew.
So they're getting older. They're old enough to leave the house now. Read.
And Esau was a cunning hunter.
Esau was a cunning hunter. The so-called white man was in the field killing deer, oxen. He was a hunter. Read.
And a man of the field. And Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents.
This is where the classic modern day term from so-called black people, Hispanic and Native Indians come from, homeboy. We're real homeboys. And even though the majority of us are roadman or were roadmen at some time, we were still homeboys. Read.
Verse 28. And Isaac loved Esau.
And what?
Isaac loved Esau.
So their father loved the hunter. He loved the masculine, the manly, the killer. Just in his spirit, death and destruction, just to kill and wipe out everything, just to destroy. Read.
Because he did eat of his
venison. So he ate the same meat that his father liked. Read.
But Rebecca loved Jacob.
But the mom loved Jacob. This is an Israelite sister of ours. She, the mother of Jacob and Esau. She loved Jacob. Read.
Verse 29. And Jacob sowed pottage.
So Jacob was in the kitchen cooking a meat pot. Read.
And Esau came from the field and was faint.
So Esau didn't know how to look after himself, and Jacob did. That's what this is saying. Esau stayed out in the field for days, weeks on end, didn't feed himself, didn't hydrate himself, and came home on death's door. He was dehydrated, he was malnutritioned, and he was close to death. Read.
Another one card. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom.
So Esau gave birth to the Edomites, who are the biblical name of the so-called white man. And we're supposed to call these our brothers. Drop down to the last verse again and read that last verse again.
Verse 34. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went away. Thus Esau despised his birthright.
So Esau despised God. He was the firstborn. He was the eldest son. He had that right. The birthright was for Esau. Does everybody understand that? The birthright was intended for Esau, and Esau didn't care, didn't give a hoo about his birthright, and sold it for meat, for the pot. He gave up his birthright. He spat in the Most High God's face. Who the hell does the white man think he is? How dare he? And we're supposed to call him our brother. We're supposed to call her our sister. Are you nuts, Israel? And we'll be sat up in the church with these demons banging a tambourine, hugging and kissing and worshipping Jehovah, a fake God, a false God that is not of the Bible. That's who we're supposed to call our brothers and sisters. Somebody that hates our God. And remember, if you hate our God, the God of Israel, the one true God, you hate black people. He made man in his own image. He made Adam to look just like him. Adam was a black man under no uncertain terms. He didn't look like Esau. That's for sure. That's for sure, Israel. Get me Hebrews 12 and 16. So Esau, the so-called white man, he's not our brothers. He's not our brother. In fact, shall we have a look at another video? Let's see. This is what Esau's been doing to our people for 570 years. 400 in physical slavery and 170 in mental slavery. Plus. Okay, let's come back out of that and I'll share first. I'm getting the hang of this now. I think I know what I'm doing, finally. It's took me a few weeks, Israel, but I finally got it. Okay, so this is what the so-called white man thinks of us. Why ain't it playing?
You have to share it. You have to share it. Click on it, then click share. The one with you want to share.
Okay, yeah. I've got you. And then play it, yeah? Okay.
Eric, alone as a victim's family believes. You might think.
What's happened? This ain't it, is it?
Is it adverts?
How do I go back? Huh?
See right at the top. Oh.
That?
The arrow, yeah.
You might think they're a bit of a joke. All those pesky emails, faxes, and letters offering you a fortune.
Okay. Turn it up for me, Radar, before we start the video. So we're supposed to call Esau our brothers, Israel. We're supposed to call Esau our sisters, and they're just not. They hate us. They hate us vigorously. And I'll be honest with you, the feeling's mutual. It's beyond mutual. I can't stand them. I can't stand none of these heathen nations. And why should we when the Most High God couldn't stand them neither? Why are we treating them like our brothers and sisters, and we can't treat our one another like brothers and sisters? We'd rather honor them before we honor ourselves. Let's watch the video. Turn that up a little bit, Radar.
Yeah, you're not playing it yet.
No, just turn it up. Just tap the plus. Tap it a few times. Yeah, that'll do.
Eric Alona, the victim's family believes the young boy was targeted for a number of reasons. Now, this is the very intersection where Xavier...
Okay, so here we've got Esau that is actually kidnapped an Israelite in the States. Yeah. And this is so common and noticeable of how they really feel about us. Yet we're supposed to trust these people and call them our brothers and call them our sisters. Let's watch what Esau did to one of our youngers. Let's watch this.
Eric Alona, the victim's family believes the young boy was targeted for a number of reasons. Now, this is the very intersection where Xavier...
Okay. Can you hear this? Have you got it up on your YouTube? Can everybody hear it?
Yeah, I can hear it. It's coming out my phone.
Is it coming out your phone?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a story about YAHANNA Parker, who was kidnapped by some white devils and beaten. How badly he was beaten is not in the news report, but this is a throwback from slavery. Let's watch this. And we're supposed to call these devils our brothers and our sisters.
Eric Alona, the victim's family believes the young boy was targeted for a number of reasons. Now, this is the very intersection where Xavier Parker gets off of the school bus and heads home each and every day. He says he first saw a red truck with flames on the side on Friday. Yesterday, he was approached with the same vehicle.
You hear that?
And things went down from there.
So these devils were stalking him. They saw him the day before or a couple of days before on the Friday. And this was after the weekend. So these devils were stalking this young Israelite.
Believes the young boy was targeted for
taking set on him. They was taking set on him. They was watching him. You understand that?
For a number of reasons. Now, this is the very intersection where Xavier Parker gets off of the school bus and heads home each and every day. He says he first saw a red truck with flames on the side on Friday. Yesterday, he was approached with the same vehicle, and things went downhill from there. It's a scary ordeal that sounds straight out of the movies. Houston Police Department responded to reports of a missing child Monday after Xavier Parker never showed up after school. He was found safe a couple of hours later, but what he says happened to him has his family shaken. Parker says as he was walking home from the bus stop, a red truck pulled up and several young men grabbed him and pulled him inside, all while the adult driver cheered them on. From there, he says he was taken to an abandoned property full of guns and torture items. He was assaulted and punched, and his phone, shoes, and jacket were stolen. When the group was in the other room, he managed to make it out and take off as fast as he could. That's when driver Carmesia Carmouche saw him running down Loxley near Wayside and stopped to ask if he was okay. She called police and eventually got him home safe, but Michelle Lee says she won't feel peace until the suspects are caught. HPD says the driving suspect is described as a white man with a heavy build, straight orange hair, and tattoos on his arm, one of which is a racial slur.
The reason why they got him because they said he was black. You deserve to die. Exactly his words. And he said the dad had like a white muscle shirt on, and you could see, he said it was right here, big as day. I hate black people.
Parker was checked out as a precaution, but doesn't appear to have any serious physical injuries. Another bizarre detail in all of this, though, Parker's mom says she received strange text messages from his phone like, "I'm going to kill him." Coming up tonight at 6, you'll hear from the woman who saw him running down the street.
Okay, so
All right, Eric.
okay, so there you have the report on Zevian Parker. He was kidnapped by Esau, and he was beaten, and they planned to kill him. He ran and got away. He escaped out of this house, where as soon as they'd taken him out of the car and into the house, he found guns and torturing equipment. All he could see all around the house was guns, firearms, murder weapons, and torturing equipment. These devils had planned to take this young Israelite, torture him, and kill him. And this is who we put our trust in before our one another. We'll sit up in church. You can hear the pastors now. You can hear the reverends in church now. This is a secluded incident. No, it's not. This has been happening for 570 years, Israel. This has been going on forever, for more than half a millennium. And for 400 years, they've done it in bondage, in physical bondage. And for over 150 years, they've done it through mental bondage. It's still happening in the streets of America, in the streets of the UK, in the streets of Europe. This is happening everywhere. Everywhere you find our people. There will always be some sect like the Ku Klux Klan. Always, you're going to find these demons that hate us. Why? Because they're not us. They're wannabes, they want to be us, but they're not us. And they're jealous, they're envious, and this is how they take out their frustrations. And we're supposed to sit up in the church, in the mosque, and call these heathens our brothers and our sisters, not me. And if you picked up your Bible and learnt these things, you wouldn't call them that neither. It just shows you what the Christian pastors know about this Bible, to be pushing these fake truths and false doctrines, that the white man, the so-called white man, is our brother, that they are our sisters. They're not. They hate us. They hate us just as much, if not more, than all the other nations. Okay, so they're not our brothers. We've got to.
The other side, yeah, that way.
No, it's there. Oh yeah, there.
No, to the red thing, streamer, where it says at the top. Other side, that one. Right, all the way. Look where my hand is. No, other side, bro. Oh yeah, this one. No, not that one. Click on that one.
Yeah, but I've got to get rid of it first.
Yeah. The way it says black people, the blue thing, end that one.
Listen, Radar, stop. I was doing that anyway, and you made me go over to the other one.
No, you've done the wrong one. You meant to do the middle one. It doesn't want
Okay, yeah, I'll just type that in, yeah?
Yeah, you can just go with the share. Wait, where you did the share to cross that one. Now you back on there. And when you go back to the share,
and type it in there. New tab. Okay, so Radar, get me Hebrews 12:6, because Esau was never righteous, and we taught in the church to treat him and deal with him like he's a righteous man, like he's our brother, and he never was. He never was our brother.
16 in Hebrews 12 and 16.
Yeah. Hebrews 12:16. So just before you just hold that one sec. So this is what we've been taught. We've been taught to cherish our oppressor, to love our oppressor, and honor our oppressor. Why aren't our own black pastors teaching us to love our one another? Why aren't they teaching us to love and cherish and honor our one another and our God? Why must we honor our oppressor? Why must we cherish our oppressor? It's not on Israel, and we fell for it. We fell for this nonsense. Read that, Radar.
Another one, come. Book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau.
Read that again.
Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau.
So Esau was never right. Read that again.
Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau.
Hebrews 12 and 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane. Read it again.
Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau.
Profane is profanity. He's disgusting. Esau is disgusting. And you can see his works in this kingdom are disgusting. How he treats the chosen people of the Most High God, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And we're supposed to call him our brother. We're supposed to call Esau our sister. Read that again, brother. Esau was never righteous. He hated God and he was never righteous, which means he hated blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Read.
Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright.
Read that again.
Who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright.
So there you go, a precept that goes with Genesis 25 and 34. He sold his birthright. And why did he sell his birthright? Because he hated the Most High God. And what do you think the Most High God did? Sisters, anybody? If Esau sold his birthright and hated God, do you think God loved him? So then why the hell do we love him? Get me Malachi 1 and 2. Get me Malachi 1 and 2 while I type this in. Just bear with me, Israel. I'm just typing in the last video, which I deleted by accident. So get me Malachi 1 and 2 and read that for me, Radar. We're going to find out what the Most High God thinks of Esau. Yet we're up in the church banging a tambourine with him, telling him we love him. He's our brother. He's our sister, which was taught, by the way, from him to us. When he freed us from slavery, they've been telling us ever since that we're their brother. There should be no backlash, reparations, compensation. Forget it. It was only a little bit of fun and games for 400 years. We only damn near killed 80, 90 million of you and wiped you out. Esau knows exactly what he's doing, and he's the deceiver, according to the Bible. He's the devil this Bible talks of.
That's right.
Read that, brother.
The book of Malachi, chapter 1, verse 2. I have loved you.
I have done what?
I have loved you.
Who is the Most High loved? Read.
Save the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother?
Was what?
Was not Esau Jacob's brother?
Was Esau not Jacob's brother? So the Most High says, you was Esau's brother, but I loved you. Read on.
Save the Lord. Yet I love Jacob.
But what?
Yet I love Jacob.
Esau was Jacob's brother, but yet the Lord loved Jacob. If he loved Jacob, what did he think of Esau? Read.
Verse 3. And I hated Esau.
And he did what?
Hated Esau.
And he did what?
Hated Esau.
He hated Esau. This is Malachi 1 and 3. If anybody wants to jot down in their notes. This is Malachi 1 and 3. The Most High God loved Jacob and he hated Esau. Read on.
And laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness.
Read that again.
And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness.
So he hated Esau and laid his mountains to waste for the dragons of the wilderness. And that's what God thought and thinks of Esau. And we're supposed to sit up in the church with this profane man and woman, proclaiming them to be our brother and sister. Not me. Not me, Israel. And if you know what you'll do, black man, Hispanic, and Native Indian, if you know what's good for you, you'll get out of the church before it's too late and come home to the I.S.U.P.K under the command of General YAHANNA. Right, so lucky that I've blocked the screen. I'm just typing in the last video. In the meantime, Radar.
Go on that tab.
Yeah. In the Okay. So in the meantime, get me. Bear with me, Israel. I'm just going to type something in on YouTube. In the meantime, get me Genesis 19 and 24. We're gonna drop it on Esau. We know Esau's one of the heathen, like Ham and like Ishmael. Yeah, they're not of us, they're not our brothers, they're not our sisters, but there's another nation that was just as bad as these heathen nations, and that is the Moabites, the Chinese. And we're going to learn a couple of things about these Moabites and their younger brother, Ammon, the Japanese. Two separate nations like Esau and Jacob, but they both came from the same seed. Okay, so if you've got that, Radar, read it when you're ready. Genesis 19 and 24.
Book of Genesis 19, verse 24. And the Lord rained upon Sodom.
And the Lord what?
Rained upon Sodom.
So here the Lord is raining upon Sodom. Yeah, this is a land that was wicked. This was a land in the times of Lot and our first prophet established by our forefather Abraham. Yeah. So read that again, Radar.
Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone.
The Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah. What did he rain?
Brimstone.
Brimstone.
And fire.
And fire. Fire and brimstone. The Lord came to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. Why? Because the people were wicked. Men were laying with men. Women were laying with women. You had a righteous man called Lot with two daughters who got their father drunk. After they saw Sodom and Gomorrah, their city, the land they lived in, had been destroyed, they believed there was no one left in the earth. There was no men left that they could fall pregnant to. So they tricked their father and got him drunk and laid with their father. The first incestuous babies were born. Well, we don't know they was the first, but it's a record. It's in our records in the Holy Bible, the King James Version, that these gave birth to children that we know nowadays come from a deformed gene. Okay, so read on, Radar, read that. An incestuous gene, read.
Brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. Verse 25. And he overthrown these cities and all the plain.
Read. So Sodom and Gomorrah is no more. He's burnt it up with fire and brimstone. Read on, Radar.
And all the inhabitants of the cities.
This is not just man, woman, child, baby. This is livestock, chicken, oxen, goat, lamb. Everything was destroyed. All the inhabitants. Read.
And that which grew upon the ground.
All the vegetation was destroyed. Read.
Verse 26. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt.
So Lot's wife looked behind him. She was wicked as well. She got killed. Read.
Verse 27. And Abraham got up early in the morning.
Our forefather Abraham, he awoken early. Read.
Early in the morning to the place where he stood before the Lord.
Read.
Verse 28. And he looked towards Sodom and Gomorrah, and towards all the land of the plain, and behold, and lo, the smoke of the country went up as a smoke of a furnace.
Utterly destroyed, just like we were supposed to do to the Hamites. This is Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah, this is Sodom and Gomorrah, where many of our people were living. Black people. Read. They was wicked. Read.
Verse 29. And it came to pass, when God destroyed the cities of the plain, that God remembered Abraham and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow.
So Abraham and Lot was saved. Read on.
When he overthrown the cities in the which Lot dwelt. Verse 30. And Lot went up out of Zoar and dwelt in a mountain, and his 2 daughters with him.
So here, Lot's gone up into the mountain, and his 2 daughters have gone with him. They're in a safe haven. They're in a safe place now. Yeah, the land of Sodom and Gomorrah has been destroyed. Salakia, Shalom, Obadiah, Zeph, Israel. Shalom, Yahweh Yoshai Brakatah, brother. Read on.
For he feared to dwell in Zorah, and he dwelt in a cave.
He feared to dwell in Zor. Read.
He and his 2 daughters.
Are you at 30 yet?
I've gone past that. I'm 31, just about to start 31.
So God saved Lot and his daughters. Okay, God saved Lot and his daughters. Read.
Verse 31. And the first...
This is where it becomes disgusting. Yeah, and this is where Moab and Ammon, who will never be our brothers, never be our sisters, they hate us just like the rest of these heathens hate us. This is where they came from. This is how the Chinese man and the Japanese man came about in this world today. And we're supposed to call these heathen our brothers, our sisters. They are not. Read.
And the firstborn said unto the younger, our father is old.
So here, the firstborn daughter of Lot said to her father, said to her younger sister, our father's old. She's thinking there's no men left. The only men, they ain't even seen Abraham. They're looking at their father thinking he's the last man standing. Read.
And there is not a man in the earth.
There you go. There's not a man in the earth. Read.
To come in unto us.
To come in unto us to do what? Read.
After the manner of all the earth.
After the manner of all the earth, God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah because they were wicked devils. Read.
Verse 32. Come, let us make our father drink wine.
Let us what?
Make our father drink wine.
Why? Why do they want to get their father drunk? Read.
And we will lie with him.
And we will do what?
Lie with him.
This is the mother of the Chinese and the Japanese nations, planning and plotting and scheming to trick their father, get him drunk and have sex with him. That's what's going on here. Read.
That we may preserve seed.
That we may what?
Preserve seed.
There you go. To preserve seed. To gather their father's seed. Incest. Read.
Of our father. Verse 33. And they made their father drink wine that night.
And they did what?
Made their father drink wine that night.
They made their father drink wine till what? Read.
And the firstborn went in and laid with him.
So the oldest daughter went in and slept with her own dad after she'd got him drunk. Read.
Laid with her father, and he perceived not when he lay down.
And he didn't know what was going on. He was blind, drunk. Read.
Nor when she arose.
Neither when she was rose. He still didn't know what had happened or what had taken place. They did a number on their father. Lot was a righteous man. He would never have done this sober. They did a number on these two daughters of Lot, did a number on him. Read.
Verse 34. And it came to pass on the morrow that the firstborn said unto the younger, Behold, I lay yesternight.
Read.
With my father.
So she's admitting to her younger sister she got her father drunk the night before and had sex with him. Read.
Let us make him drink wine this night also.
Let us get him drunk again tonight, the second night. Read.
And go thou in.
And telling her younger sister, you go and do what I just did. Commit that incestuous act and sleep with dad. Read.
And lay with him.
There you go. Read.
That we may preserve seed of our father.
That we may get pregnant for our fathers. These women were wicked. They was as wicked as the people that got destroyed in Sodom and Gomorrah. Read.
Verse 35. And they made their father drink wine that night also, and the younger arose.
Back-to-back nights, they got their dad drunk, just so they could commit an incestuous act and sleep with him and try and fall pregnant and conceive child with their own father. Read.
And lay with him. And he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. Verse 36.
There you go again. He doesn't know what's going on. He's blind drunk. Read.
Those were both the daughters of Lot, whose child by their father.
So both the daughters of Lot got pregnant. They had child by their father, but he never knew what was going on. Lot was a righteous man. Lot was spiked, what we call today spiked. He was tricked and made drunk. Read.
And the firstborn bare a son, and called.
So the oldest sister had a child, had a son. What did she call the son?
And called his son Moab.
And did what?
Called his son Moab.
Read on.
And the same is the father of the Moabites unto this day.
So the first one had a son and called the child Moab, and the Moabs dwell in this kingdom today. Okay, in that day and still to this day, but they don't go by the biblical name today. They go by the nation of China. They are the biblical Moabites. Read.
Verse 38. And the younger, she also bare a son.
The younger one got pregnant as well and bare a son. Read.
And called his name Ben-Ami.
Ben-Ami. Read.
The same is the father of the children of Ammon.
So Ammon came from Ben-Ami, who came from Lot. So there was two children that came out of this incestuous relationship between the two daughters and the father Lot, and that was Ammon and Moab. Ammon being the modern day Japanese. Ammon is the biblical name of the modern day Japanese. So we know why these people look like they've got Down syndrome. We know why they've got slanty eyes and they look like they got Down syndrome. It comes from an incestuous gene. And we've been taught not to sleep with our parents. This is a law. This is a strict law. You know, these type of things were going on in Sodom and Gomorrah, and that's why the land was destroyed in the first place, because of homosexuality, because of incestuous relations, because of fornication. This is all Sodom and Gomorrah knew. And we're supposed to call Moab and Ammon our brother, our sister. The Ammonites hate us. The Japanese can't stand us, and the Chinese hate us even more. They'll never be my brother or sister. They'll never be a brother or a sister to the 12 tribes of Israel. But we can't stand our one another and want to love these other nations. And these other nations are disgusting. Let me tell you, these other nations are not worthy. They never were worthy to be called our brothers or sisters. They just weren't. That's a biblical fact. Okay? It's a biblical fact. Are we done with Ammon or Moab, or shall we go in on a Moradar? What do you think? Shall we done with them or go in on them? I've got a bit more for them.
We got a little bit more. Give them more.
Okay, give me I tell you what, shall we go in on Elam? Because Elam, do you remember, you know, when I was at school, yeah, there'd be a bunch of us, there'd be a bunch of Israelites on the playground or on the back path after school. And there'd always be one. Let me tell you before I tell you the story. Elam, the biblical Elamites, E-L-A-M, are the modern day Indians, Gujarati, Punjabi, northern India, the land of farmland, and central and southern India, which is Gujarati and Hindus. And then you've got the Pakistan, Afghanistans, they're the bloodline of Elam also. Ancient India used to be all of Pakistan and Afghanistan before it was split. Yeah, before it was split by Esau's influence in that region, that part of the world. So the most of the Pakistan people today, you'll find their bloodline comes from northern India and the Punjab, a mass farm of farmland and farmers. That's why Pakistan people look more like Punjabi Indians than Gujarati Indians. I don't know if you ever noticed that Punjabi Indians are big hands, big schools, big heads, big figures, and the Gujaratis are more smaller. Yeah, the Pakistan people favor the Punjabi people, but they're all Elamites. They all have got the same forefather, Elam, and these Indians can't stand us, but they call us our brothers. We're the same. Look, we're brown. We're brown like you. Do you know Elam was the first person at school I heard, even before the Hamites. Elam was the first person at school I heard say, me and you are the same. Before even I heard an African say, me and you are the same. I heard Elam at school say, me and you are the same. We're brothers. We're both brown. We're not like these white people. We're both brown. What? Are you kidding me? Are you joking? You pick your nose all day, don't wash your hands and eat your patties and curry lentils. I don't do that. My people don't do that. We sanitize. We gave the world cleanliness. We civilized damn near most of this world. Elam is a disgusting, filthy animal. Let me tell you. And at school, we'd walk home on the black path, and there'd be 4 or 5 of us Israelites, and there'd always be one Elamite, one Indian that wanted to cling to us, wanted to be close, spend his lunch money with us, buy us all lollies on the way home. Just let me hang around with you black kids. Or I feel safe with you. I don't feel safe with my own people, but I feel safe with you. Listen. Get out of here. You ain't my brother. Now, I weren't like that then, but I'm like that now. Now I know the truth. And now I'm in the home, the One West, I.S.U.P.K under the command of General YAHANNA. Now I know this truth. I wouldn't dare call an Elamite, an Indian, a Pakistan, an Afghani my brother, my sister. Because guess what, Israel? They're not. Period. They are not. Get me Genesis 10 and 22. Because Elam is a son of Shem, and we're a child of Shem. But that's where it all ends. They became a separate nation, and they went off. What was it? Genesis 10 and 22. You okay, sis? Hold on. Slow down. Let's rewind a minute. Let me just finish off on Moab. Yeah. Just before we go and touch on Elam, I just want to play a quick short video on the Moabites, on these Oriental demons. Yeah, let's just watch the last video on these Moabites, and let's see why they don't have the right to say that they're our brothers or sisters. Like I said, Israel, we've got 11 brothers and sisters, and we've got to learn to come together and love our one another and love each other. There's 12 tribes. That means you come from a tribe, and there's 11 other tribes, 11 brothers and 11 sisters to adorn, to honor, to cherish, to love, to respect. And if we can do it with these heathen, why can't we do it amongst ourselves? Forget the heathen. Put them to one side. Leave them alone. Don't go near them. Read your Bible. Learn what the Most High God wants and expects from you. And it's not to love and cherish and honor these heathen. They're not us. They're not us, Israel. And we've got to learn to honor and cherish and love our one another, not these heathen. These Moabites and Ammonites can't stand us. Cannot stand us. I just find it bizarre. Let's watch the video on these Moabites.
We continue our special coverage this afternoon of Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Tonight, a tough topic many people avoid talking about.
For decades, there has been racial tension between the Asian and Black communities. And Elaine Houston joins us as we continue our special series, Culture in the Crosshairs, Countering a Surge of Hate. Elaine, good afternoon. This is a tough topic with a lot of layers.
It is, Sabrina and Mark. Following the incidents of hate crimes, we saw a lot of people taking to the streets, including Blacks, who supported Asians in their fight against hatred and racism. Blacks keenly aware of the suffering that emanates from hatred and violence, so they vowed to present a united front with Asians. However, it hasn't been easy to get to this point.
But her overall attitude was not okay with me when I was a paying customer.
Joyce Williams is not a litigious person, but she says something that happened to her at a Chinese restaurant in Albany last month has forced her to go to court because of principle.
Just the overall feeling when I walked in, you know, like attitude from the clerk. So I asked for, it wasn't for me because I don't eat fish, it's for my husband, right? So I asked for a combination plate. And so first, she acted like she didn't know what I was talking about. So I said, okay, let me look at the menu. So I looked at the menu and I seen the shrimp broccoli plate. That's what I wanted. So they served it to me. I looked at it. And when I looked at, because of the attitude, I looked at the food and it wasn't what I had bought previous.
She says attempts to get the order corrected failed, so she asked for her money back.
I just said, can I have my money back? And she said, no. I said, I can't have my money back? So I went and called the police because I feel like this was not right for you to take my money and then the food wasn't right. So I called the police, the Albany police.
Williams says it is not the first time she feels she was treated disrespectfully by an Asian merchant. She says that she attempted to purchase a wig from a local Asian store recently and was told, along with other Black women in that store, that they could not try the wigs on.
I'm wondering if that was just a culture of how they do things, especially with maybe Black people. You know, because the beauty store, there's a beauty store also on Central Avenue, right? And I went there. And I wonder if it's just because we as Black people are frequent these shops and we get treated any kind of way.
Professor Pyong Gap Min from Queens College, who wrote a paper on Korean-Black relationships in New York City, says historically culture has been an issue between the two groups. He says that some Korean immigrants have not been aware of the brutal history of slavery in the lives of Blacks in America.
Korean immigrants did not understand Black history. From their point of view, if you work hard here, you can make it.
He writes from the 1970s to the early 90s, the most severe conflicts among Asian immigrant groups has occurred between between blacks and Korean business owners who set up shop in the black community. A very public conflict began to simmer in 1991 in LA when a Korean shop owner killed a 15-year-old black girl and got probation. The following year, riots broke out and Korean businesses were targeted and burned, following the acquittal of white police officers charged with beating Rodney King. But Professor Angie Chung from UAlbany says that the conflict between blacks and Asians was deeper than culture. She says it was orchestrated through systemic racism. She says Asians were declared an example of a model minority, and their success was used as a symbol to proclaim racism did not exist in the U.S.
If we look at the time period when that stereotype actually first came out, it came out in kind of a rebuttal to Black Americans' continued protests against racism after
Okay,
the
so
movement.
you
And
get
so
the idea.
implicitly, it was stating that no, there is no racism.
Stop that because. Okay, let's stop that and go back to the stream now. Yeah, let's end that. So you get the idea, Israel. Yeah, what she's about to say is that Esau planted. They had a design. It was designed for Moab and Ammon to hate black people and black people to hate Ammon. It's a lot deeper than that. I'm not saying it wasn't all orchestrated in the States by Esau, because it was, yeah, and to show that that black people were lazy, thieves, criminals, a low down nation of people, and to make the Oriental people, the Moabites and the Ammonites, look like an upstanding citizen, good in business, thriving communities, the complete opposite to us. When we damn near built most of this world in their concrete jungle, we gave them civilization, we gave them electronics and everything that they hold dear to this kingdom today, they stole from us. But the Moabites are the minority group that are deemed as worthier claimants and not us. And it just shows you the devilness of these heathen nations and how much they hate us and want to see us destroyed. And we've got to build ourselves back up, Israel, because these Chinese people can't stand us. These Japanese people can't stand us. The woman was in a restaurant and couldn't get what she ordered. That's how, can you imagine that they've took the order, they've gone in the back and said, we ain't giving her what she wants.
We ain't giving her money back.
And she ain't getting her money back.
What kind of shit?
What kind of nonsense is that? That shows the lack of respect for our people. That would never have happened to a white boy or a white woman that walked into that Chinese restaurant. Do you know that? That wouldn't have even happened to an African. And I know the Chinese and the Africans have got problems, but they don't hate they're spending money in Africa. The Chinese have gone to Africa and spent billions and billions and billions of pounds and dollars in yen. I don't see the Chinese spending money in Mossad, in Highfields, in Handsworth, in Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, Compton. I don't see the Chinese spending billions of pounds in black projects, in black ghettos, in black impoverished areas all around the world. I don't see the Chinese. They're spending they're spending a few dollars in Jamaica and claiming it. They're not making the people better off. They've gone to Jamaica and made themselves better off. They're stealing parts of Jamaica, the land, the businesses. They're not making our people any better off. We're still in Jamaica in poverty. We're still in Mossad. We're still in Highfields. We're still in Handsworth, Newtown. We're still in Brixton, Tottenham, Broadwater Farm, Hackney, Stoke Newington, Aston. We're still in these impoverished areas. Yeah, and the Chinese ain't helping us, but they're in Africa spending billions and billions and billions of pounds. What the hell is going on? Get me Deuteronomy. No, get me Genesis 10 and 22. I'm going to drop it on Moab because I believe it or not, Radar, I can't stand the Moabites and the Ammonites. I could go on about these clowns all night.
Genesis 10 and 22 says.
Genesis 10 and 22. We're going to go back on Elam, that single little Indian boy, that skinny little Gujarati boy that wanted to be part of the Israelite clique at school. He wanted to be in with the black people. He wanted to be in with his so-called black brothers. You ain't my brother. And your sister ain't my sister. Remember that, Israel. Read.
Genesis 10, verse 22. And the children of Shem.
And the children of Shem, read.
Elam.
Elam.
And Ashur.
So Elam, Ashur. Ashur is where we come from, Israel. We're the lineage of Shem and Ashur. The Indians, the Pakistans and the Afghanistans, the Punjabis, the Gujaratis, they have the lineage of Shem and Elam. They're not our brothers. They're a different nation. So why do we want them coming to the club with us, hanging around with us, tailing us, talking like us, dressing like us, acting like us? You're not my brother, Elam. Get gone. Keep it moving. You're not my brother. And your ugly daughters are not my sisters. You get that? Stop befriending these Indians. They're not like us, but they steal everything we've got, mimic it, and protect. They act like it's theirs, their own. Drop that. Get me Ezra 10 and 2. Book of Ezra 10 and 2. Elam is not our brother. Yes, sister. Okay, yeah, 5 minutes and we're done. We're going to cut it. We've only got a couple of precepts there. Yeah, no, Ezra. Ezra. I never said Ezra. It's Ezra. The book of Ezra 10 and 2, please. Okay, so yeah, we're winding up, Israel. I know I've gone over. Salakia to the audience. We did start half an hour late. I'm going to give you a couple more precepts and we're done. Okay, so let's fly through these as quick as we can, and we'll break down these couple of precepts quick, and then we'll have the announcements and finish off. Okay, Ezra's 10 and 2. Read.
Book of Ezra, chapter 10, verse 2. And Shem, what's that called? Shem.
Let me get to it, and I'll help you. Let me get to it. 10 and 2. And Shishaniah.
And Shishaniah, the son of
Shishaniah. Go on, read.
And Shishaniah, the son of Jehiel, one of the sons of Elam.
One of what?
The sons of Elam.
One of what?
The sons of Elam.
Read on.
Answered and said unto Ezra, we have trespassed against our God.
We have done what?
Trespassed against our God.
Openly sinning against God. Read. This is Elam. Elam openly trespassing and admitting it. Read.
And have taken strange wives.
And have taken strange wives. Read.
Of the people of the land.
Of the people of the land. Read on.
Yet now there is hope in Israel concerning this thing.
Why is there hope? They think they're hope, but the covenant doesn't belong to them. Read.
Verse 3. Now therefore let us make a covenant with our God to put away all the wives of such as are born.
And such as are born. Read.
Of them.
Of them. Okay. We're putting away our wives that are doing this. Read.
According to the counsel of my Lord.
Of what?
According to the counsel of my Lord.
According to the counsel of my Lord. Read.
And of those that tremble at the commandment of our God.
So what this precept is saying is Elam's bloodline was disobedient. They could never be a part of this covenant because they were wicked. And we're supposed to call them our brothers, like Ham, like Esau, like Ishmael. We're supposed to call them our sisters. They are not. They was wicked from day dot. Drop that, get me Isaiah 11 and 11. Elam is not our brother and never was and never will be. Stop it, Israel. Stop inviting these people in, these heathen, these alien nations. Stop inviting them in. We've got brothers and sisters. There's 12 of us. Let's start to learn to love our one another and honor and cherish our one another. Let's stop clinging to these heathen nations. They're not our brothers. They're not our sisters. Read that.
The book of Isaiah 11 and 11. And it shall come to pass in that day.
It shall what?
Come to pass in that day.
It shall come to pass in that day, in that time, in that era. Read.
That the Lord shall set his hand against the second time.
Read on. The Lord will set his hand against the second time. Read.
To recover the remnant of his people.
To recover the remnant of his people. Who is his people? Me and you, Israel. True brothers and sisters. The 12 tribes of Israel. The 12 tribes of Israel. And who are the 12 tribes of Israel? Because there's 12 sons of Israel. And they're not the same as the 12 tribes. They're not the same as the 12 tribes. The 12 sons of Israel were Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph, and Benjamin. Okay? But the 12 tribes, there's 2 that came out of the 12 tribes, Dan and Joseph. And Joseph's 2 sons were given a double blessing. Manasseh and Ephraim. Okay, so they were the 12 sons of Jacob, but the 12 tribes of Jacob were Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Gad, Asher, Ephraim, Manasseh, Issachar, Zebulun, Naphtali, and Benjamin. Okay, carry on with Isaiah 11 and 11.
Which shall be left from
Let me see.
Assyria.
Read.
And from Egypt.
And from Egypt, read.
And from Pathros.
And from Pathros, read on.
And from Cush.
And from Cush.
And from Elam.
And from where?
And from Elam.
So read that again from the top.
Verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand against the second time to recover the remnant of his people.
To recover the remnant of his people who's mixed in with these Elamites. Read on.
Which shall be left in Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam.
All these different lands. Read on.
And from Shania, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea.
So there you go. There you have it. Elam was from a different bloodline. He's not our brother. He's from a different bloodline. He's not our brother. Drop that last precept, Jeremiah 49 and 34. So Elam's not our brother. Ammon, Jeremiah 49 and 34. So Elam's not our brother, not our sister. Neither is Ammon or Moab. Neither is Ishmael. Neither is Esau. And neither is Ham. We've got to stop this, Israel. We're at the end of the class now, and the message is to stop this. We've got 11 brothers and sisters. We've got our own tribe, and we've got 11 brothers and sisters. Let's start honoring each other instead of honoring these heathen like we do up in the Christian church, up in the Islamic mosque, up in the mountains in Jamaica with your nonsensical Rastafarianism and your Rastafarian doctrine. It's just a bag of nonsense. It's not a bag of, it's a bag of nonsense, Israel. Meantime, all we do is hate our one another, rob our one another, steal from our one another, envy our one another, whore out our women, sell each other drugs, shoot, stab, kill each other. There's more hatred in Israel than any other nation. But in the meantime, we love these other nations and call them our brothers and sisters. They're not. Read that, Radar.
Book of Jeremiah 49, verse 39.
34.
Oh, 34. So that's fine. 34. The word of the Lord that came unto Jeremiah, the prophet against Elam.
Read that from the top.
The word of the Lord that came to Jeremiah, the prophet against Esau.
No, for Elam.
The prophet against Elam.
No, with Elam.
The prophet against Elam.
Read on.
In the beginning of the reign of Zedekiah, the king of Judah, saying, verse 35, thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, I will break the bow of Elam, the chief of their might.
Read.
Verse 36, and upon Elam will I bring the four winds from the four quarters of heaven.
Okay, so the four winds. This is death and destruction to Elam. This is the angels. This is coming from heaven. Drop that and go down to verse 39. Read 39 because we push for time now.
Verse 39. But it shall come to pass.
It shall what?
It shall come to pass.
It will happen. It's going to occur, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. Nothing no one can stop this. It's going to come to pass. Read.
In the latter days.
In the late days, in the last days, read.
That I will bring again the captivity of Elam.
We'll do what?
The Lord. I will bring again the captivity of Elam.
Elam's going into slavery.
Saith the Lord.
Elam is going into slavery. He's got no future. He's not our brother. He's dead. She's not our sister. Leave Elam alone. Stay away from her. And on that note, Salakia for half an hour overtime. Salakia. On that note, we're going to end the class. So clap it up. And I'm going to hand the class over to Trooper Radar for the security announcements.
Security announcement. I.S.U.P.K security announcement. We are the I.S.U.P.K. started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister come into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a sister or brother has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6-month period in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18 and 21. Malachi 3, verse 8 to 10.
Have you done have you come to the
No, I'm not got to that point either. Means tenths in the Hebrew, Marshara, tenth of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest funds free will offerings to priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you will like. Upcoming holy convocations.
The feast of the memorial of blowing trumpets is the next one. You have to look at the bulletin board. I think it's September.
Announcements, holy convocation from the sheep. Remind
Salakia, Trooper. The 15th of September. Is that right? The sisters told me that. Read Salakia for interrupting you.
Remind Akium and Akwav to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headbands and scarves. With that, man of Israel, Amajium Shabbat, Amajium Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah.
Yahweh Sa means turn in the Hebrew. Give the sisters a one point salute. With that, man of Israel, Amajium Shabbat, Amajium Barak.
Yehovah Shemai Ladaba Hashem Yahushai.
Yahweh Yatah, cast dismiss.
Shalom all the Akyam, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Barakatam. Shalom all the Akwathian, Yahweh Shemai Ladaba Hashem Yahushai. The water for tuning in, and Lord allow, I'll see you next week.